So I actually was born in the Philippines, but I was a Navy brat. So my dad just happened to be stationed in the Philippines. But I came to the United States around no,
Wow.
not 7 months. Old
Oh,
school. I was really raised in San Francisco in the Bay Area. Um, while my dad's the one who kind of went into military. But I stayed in San Francisco with my mom. And that's kind of where I grew up. I grew up there through like until high school, and then I went off to college and so forth. Um,
oh, question. What did you get your degree in?
so I got my degree. Oh, funny question. Like any other college student, I was pursuing medicine. Obviously, kind of, I'm Filipino, and so it was kind of the thing.
It was
And
kind of expected.
it's kind of expected.
Okay.
And in my family, because of a lot of hardships, and a lot of deaths, unnecessary deaths that happen in my family in the province, they wanted to have at least one person in the family to
Mm,
go into medicine. So one of them in my dad's generation, they put all their, not all their effort, but they helped
yeah.
fund one of my uncles to be a physician.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and then for my mom's side, my mom is a nurse for the OR, and she's obviously, they're both retired. Um, and then I was encouraged to go to medicine because I had a knack for it. I was just, but book wise, it was not my jam. Like, it, it was not my jam, but I was really good with like trying to find the root cause of things. Getting in, I was a student athletic trainer in UC Davis intercollegiate sports, and so we had to do physical therapy and athletic training. And yeah, and so I was really into kind of going into sports medicine. That's kind of where
Yeah.
I was going for. And then my last year, I guess I decided that it was just not for me. It was, yeah, it just wasn't for me. Like the competition, what I was studying, it wasn't interesting to me. It was interesting, but it was like not, it doesn't fill me up. So I decided to change my major in 1 year. And
Wow.
I hauled ass and did like 5 classes in a quarter and graduated
Okay.
in anthropology, and which I loved, which was like 20-page papers every other day, but it's okay. I was good with it. I knew how to write and I was thriving with that.
Mhm.
And I learned more about like other things other than science. And so that's where I graduated from. And then I worked a little bit and then I got into an MBA program. I decided to go get my MBA. I know, really big transition.
Yeah.
Uh, and I just wanted to see where I can go with that. And it was
So
during
your bachelor's is in what again? Your bachelor's is in
anthropology.
anthropology and a master's in business.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
And
what were you thinking of doing when you came out of school with those two degrees?
um I actually wanted to pursue healthcare administration. This was before healthcare administration master's programs were
Right.
like
Yeah.
created. Um,
Yeah.
but then I also didn't want to sell myself too short, right? Because I wanted to keep it open
Yeah.
versus I'm stuck in this one field. So there was some healthcare administration programs, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. But I decided to go the MBA route because I wanted to be open to other industries in the case that I venture off that direction.
Yeah.
My emphasis in my MBA program was business process improvement, data analytics, and project management.
Oh, that makes sense now. Now, like I know you more, so I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay, cool. And also, you have a brother, right? As well,
Yeah.
older or younger brother?
He is older than me
Okay.
by 1 year and 7 months. So we are very close in regards to not just age, but we also went to the same high school and the same college. I lived
Oh, wow.
across the school from him. Um, and yeah, he also has an interesting journey of life.
Don't we
'Cause
all? Seriously.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so so I have a brother and he's older, but a lot of people think I'm the older one.
And you have a daughter. How old's your daughter?
So my daughter is 16
Hmm.
and she goes to a private high school in San Francisco. And yeah, she's good. She's my own one and only. And we have two big dogs, and they're my babies too.
Do you do Reiki on your dogs?
I do with one of them because he loves it. He's like, yes, bring it. The other one is like, get away from me. And I'm just like,
You have to do it when that dog is sleeping.
yeah, I do. I'm like,
Yeah,
because
because it might just be like a lot of energy at one time.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's my older one, and I'm like, come on, you need it.
Like you need it more. That means you're pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you, your husband, and your daughter live on in South San Francisco, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So what do you do for work now?
So I currently work in healthcare administration. I've been working here in this area or this industry for maybe 17, 18 years.
Wow.
Um, so a really long time. It's just where
Oh,
God needed me to be. I mean,
yeah.
I tried getting out and it just
It's like we're your family also, like that energy, like you said, from even when you're young, that it's like we need to have people, in medicine and just like being able to help in that way.
yeah, and I still have that knack of helping people, but
Yeah.
don't want to necessarily be a doctor, be a nurse, like that area. But it's helping people in a different way is where I'm at. Like that's kind of what I strive for is to help other people in other ways.
So you and I met and did some sessions virtually pre-COVID, correct?
Yes.
Before that time. And then something awakened you to reach out last year, beginning of last year, so beginning of 2023, and funny because if it's okay, you turned 40 that last year, and I can say that because I'm 40. But there's huge shifts that happen when you hit those milestones like 30, 40, 50, right? So what made you go, I'm ready now to really step into my gifts and understand them more? And I think I should reach out to Britt and really start to learn how to use my hands.
I think it was me doubting myself for years, years. Because I thought it was really cool what you could do. And I was like, oh, you could heal people without having a science degree. This is amazing. But I didn't feel worthy for
Mm,
years and not feel worthy. Had a lot of unworthiness. And I was struggling to this day with feeling worthy.
hmm.
And I guess I was in a different point in my career. And and some people's lives, their career may be just kind of a smaller part of their whole entire life. And for me, just the way that I'm built, it's my career kind of takes hold of a lot of my
Like
life.
85% of your life.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that there's no
Yeah,
work-life balance. It's just more like I put a lot of my passion and pride into it. And it's not just the work, but it's towards the vision of wherever I go, like whatever. So I try to make my job into my passion in a way.
yeah.
Um, at least the
It's where a
vision.
lot of your focus is, I feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like where a
It-
lot of your focus is.
It's a lot where my focus is, because I just feel like I could make a bigger impact it that way.
Yeah.
Um, but it was just a pinnacle point in my career where I was just not happy. Um,
Hmm.
then it was bleeding into my personal life a lot
Hmm.
more. So it was throughout the years, and then it just got really bad.
Yeah.
And um, I just kind of lost myself completely.
Hmm.
Uh, I couldn't get myself out of this downward spiral. Um, but then I was kind of desperate to find another way or another avenue to help myself. And
Yeah.
so I wasn't full on like sad or like full on like just not doing anything. I was really trying to actively figure it out. And something, I pray almost every day, and something was just saying to me, just do it. Just do it. There's nothing,
Yeah.
there's you can't go for any further down. I mean, you could, but I mean, there's not many other things you could do at this point because I was going through therapy and that wasn't helping.
Yeah.
um I was like, what else is there? And so since I've been going to you, I'm like, and she hosts these training sessions, just bite the bullet and go, just for my own sake, for my own growth, and to
Yeah.
get me out of this downward spiral
So
and
you're
this.
just open, like however this can help me, whatever Britt's gonna like teach me, and however I can start implementing my hands or a shift in mindset or whatever that is, like let's just go for it. Because when you reached out, you were pretty ready. You
Yeah,
were
I
like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, finally, I like that. And like I'm great. But it's like when a student is ready, the teacher appears. Like and so I feel like I know when people should learn this stuff, but if they're not ready, then I just wait until until they reach out. Sometimes I'll give people a little nudge if something telling me to like message them or talk to them about the class. But a lot of times I know before the student that they're going to take the class because
oh
it's
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? But I have to be patient so that they can see that and they're ready to focus on it and make and prioritize it and make time for it. So over the last, over a year and a half now, you've been able to use Reiki for yourself, for other people that you love and care about, um, and even on others who, you recently met that want to, you to work on them. So now you're stepping into making yourself even more available. I know you're busy with your work schedule and life schedule, but you really are passionate about this work. And so you want to make yourself more available to like people who this video that we're doing this interview resonate with and they want to reach out and maybe they want to do a life coaching session with you. Maybe they want to do Reiki with you virtually or in person or whatever, But can you speak to it? You said it a little bit of how Reiki has shifted you, but now looking back at the last year and a half, and having these tools, what can you say that like how has it helped you?
As a person or business
Just some
wise
like
or
highlights of shifts you've seen
ah
in your
so
life.
I think with the shift is more now that I have a different passion that's not necessarily anchored by my like work career.
Yeah.
And that's the missing piece that I needed to just find, like something that was for me,
Hmm.
that I can control versus like work where you can't control a lot of that stuff. So regardless if you're really good at it or you're really passionate, just because of the politics, you might just be thrown out or you might just be overlooked because of politics. Um, and that's kind of the reason why I needed that balance too, and why I went downward spiraling because I've undergone that throughout my whole entire career, and I was tired of fighting. I was tired of proving myself. I was tired of saying that I'm not worthy when I was.
Yeah.
So this gave me another opportunity to use my skill sets, use my intelligence, use my gifts, but also like be more creative in a way and help people, but something where I can actually be more controlling, not
Yeah.
controlling in a bad way, but
No, but
controlling.
there's no red tape.
There's no red tape.
There's
There's
no
not,
red tape. Yeah.
no.
It's
Yeah.
just use your hands and help.
Yeah. And I don't have to report to anybody. I don't need
Yeah.
to question anybody really because it's just me, but it's just direct, no, no bureaucracy or
Can you
very.
imagine? Okay, go back like a couple hundred years ago. Can you imagine like a tribe, like a village, and someone comes who's sick, and you're the medicine woman, and someone brings their child, and you have to go through all this red tape before you even lay hands over the child, which you know you could probably help within 10 minutes. And you
Yes.
have to go through all this red tape to just lay hands. It's crazy. You know, that's not how the village did it back then. And so it's interesting, you know, with the medical system, with the Western medical system, there's a lot of ego involved because these doctors had to go through years of training, lots of money spent, right? Lots of sacrifice to get to this point. But what the Western medicine world is missing is that there are natural healers. There are gifted people that don't need degrees to have intuition, to have intuition over the body and to know what parts of the body need help. You know, I teach you guys how to just feel that with your hands. And then you can know which energy centers are lacking or need more energy or all these things, right? So it's interesting that the medical field does not allow space right now for the natural healers to come in and say, well, what about this too? So why couldn't we offer both of these things to patients? Shouldn't patients have choice in how they want their care, their healthcare to be? And shouldn't things like acupuncture, massage, Reiki, all these other modalities be part of that offering if they choose that that's what's best for them? Right? It's so separate, and we starting to see it coming closer together where whatever is best for the patient should be offered.
Mhm.
Period. They're the customer, right? So if they're requesting something, offer it, right?
Yes.
If someone is giving birth and says, I want a Reiki practitioner at my bedside as I'm giving birth, that should be an option.
Yes.
Right? I need a
Yes.
Reiki practitioner in the operating room sending love to the entire room of doctors as I'm knocked out, right? As they're working on me. That's what I want. Sign me up for that, right? It's that's something I see that could easily happen if there wasn't all this ego and red tape involved. Because I know a lot of times, I'm not saying all doctors, but some are like, well, how come, you know, she didn't have to go to school and do all this and this and that, but now they're in the hospital offering their services, right? But then there are doctors who get it and who are starting to reach out and want to take classes like mine, and they are learning other modalities because they understand whatever other tools they can offer their patient, that's only a win for everybody. So it's a win for them because they're using those tools to help themselves and become a better doctor and provider, and it's better for the patient. So we see this shift right now, and we're in California. This is exciting times. You know, at the moment of this video, you work at UCSF. Okay, at the moment that we're filming this video. So, what is your vision where this energy work can kind of start to mesh with medical care, and what do you see for the future?
Yeah, so we're actually building towards that vision. I'm just lucky to be in a group of medical leaders, clinical medical leaders, who actually wants this, who actually believes it. And that's because I work in the field of neurology, pediatric brain center. And so there's like a lot of unknowns, a lot of unexplained things, anything related to your nervous system, anything related to the brain. There's just a lot of unknowns that we don't know that Western medicine has not ventured out. And
Can't
just
explain. You just can't really explain it. Yeah.
a lot like people will mark them as miracles because they weren't sure how that happened, and it's so they have more openness than possibly others. And I'm not saying no one else, but I'm just saying that they have probably a bigger space to accept the fact that there's more to this than just Western medicine. And I work with a diverse group of physicians as well as a diverse population. And
Mhm.
so when you have physicians or physician assistants and or nurses who are of different backgrounds, they
Mhm.
also feel a connection to that as well, that they know there's more to this, that there's just more modalities that can help a patient versus going straight into either surgery or straight into just giving them pills to eat.
Yeah.
Um, they just know that there's more to life than just science.
Yeah.
And granted, there's probably Scientologists who would hate what I'm saying, but
But to your point, there's options that don't have major side effects. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Because surgery, especially on kids, there's side effects, right? A lot, removing body parts, side effects. Like if you remove a body part, everything else has to adjust, okay? Because that part's no longer there. So it's like, why not try some of these other things first? If that does not work out, there are these other options. But why are we hopping to the option of, surgery right away or something like that when we can try some other things to see if there's some progress there, like non-invasive things,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So it's really is an exciting time, and I know that some nurses and doctors can relate to you and saying, well, yeah, there's a lot of politics, so it's that part of the job is draining, but the potential of where medicine is going, especially in California right now, there's so many things to look forward to if we can keep pulling it in that direction, and balance some of the draining energy of politics, because as we know, healthcare is a business, and it's hard to marry the two. When I started my business, I was like, how can I have a healing business? That's two separate words, healing and business, which gives off feminine nurturing energy and masculine energy of action and strategy. Now, how do I marry the two? And I think I've done, if people watching this video kind of know me, I think I've done a pretty good job of balancing that masculine feminine side of myself and being able to create a business that feels really aligned for myself and energetically feels good, right? But the overall US Western medical system has not figured out how to balance having strategy and business, but implementing best care for the patient.
Mhm.
They're figuring that out. And the people in the middle, like the nurses and the doctors, are getting drained. Because you know why? People in the middle who became nurses and doctors, hopefully most of them, signed up because they want to serve and help. Maybe a few signed up for just the money. We take
Yeah.
those out of the equation. Like, let's say 80% of nurses and doctors really want to help people heal. That's why they did that profession to begin with. So when the business gets in the way of that and they have no control because they're not running the business, other people are running the business, it gets incredibly draining. So to your point, when you can offer Reiki, life coaching, past life regression work with hypnosis, and you're your boss, then you can keep that balance intact a lot more than a big system,
Yeah.
right? A big healthcare system. So if anyone is looking for life coaching, Reiki, spiritual life coaching, energy work, or past life regression work with you, they can reach out to you on your network page here, and you'll respond. She'll probably respond within the same day and with her rates and things like that, and you kids can schedule like a phone conversation and get booked. So if anyone needs Vanessa's help and resonates with her story, her background, and anything she said, and the excitement that we both share for the future of what healthcare and energy work can come together and look like. It's super exciting. Um, I'll take it a step further. I'm just going to say this now on record. One of these days, they're going to call for past life regression work to help people understand some kind of chronic condition or pattern that's in the way of them healing. And their understanding of past life stuff is going to help them heal faster. Okay. Like that will literally be offered in the future through
That
hypnosis.
would be interesting because I've
That's
seen it
it.
really well with just clients.
Yep.
There's like one feedback was they've had therapy, like regular therapy for 10 years, but she only needed one session of past life regression and Reiki.
To
And
really understand, right? And have that breakthrough
yep.
and
Yeah,
the better understanding of self and patterns and why. and
Yeah.
she's not crazy, right?
Yeah.
It gives that feeling of, oh, I'm not crazy. Like this is there, I get it. This is why this is the case. This is why this is the case. And this is how I can better navigate those things in my life now that I know.
Right. And just actually coaching them to know that it's not used as a crutch, like, oh, I do this
Right.
because of the past, but
Yeah,
it's more,
no, that's not how we work.
yeah, it's more like it's like a tool to build you to grow in today's world
Yeah.
and how to improve yourself from that, or break that karma or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I've seen it heal people a lot faster than the regular things that they provide here. Um,
Hypnosis is incredibly effective.
It absolutely
So
is. It's
effective.
great. It's so
Yeah.
great. Like it's so mind-opening and just makes total sense of the things that you always wanted to figure out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
would
like
have,
what you said though. That's a great reminder about past life regression for anyone listening to our interview. It's not you don't use your understanding to say, well, this is why I'm the way I am, so deal with it. You use your understanding to get lessons and then change for the better.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
why you're going back to like understand your lessons. What do I need to fully get about myself and what I've been through? And then how can I use that information to be better? Not,
yeah,
not to stay
that
stagnant and give
that
excuses. Yeah,
yes, because
not here to give excuses, you
if they
know?
look at the, if they like Google it or something, they're just wondering like, they're, yay, I got to know that. But there's a bigger, deeper piece to that, which, you and your students would know.
Yeah,
Can't speak for anybody else, and it's possible they're doing the same thing, but I know there's other practitioners out there that may not be doing that type of integrity work in
right,
this.
right. So we're so excited. If you guys resonate with this video, want to reach out to Vanessa, please do so. And she will give you a call. And also, even if you're on the East Bay or you're not by South San Francisco, that's okay. I know that she can definitely use my office space and see you here in the East Bay. I'm in Alameda, and she can figure something out with your space where you're at. So thank you, Vanessa, for joining me for this little interview, and I hope everyone enjoys learning about you.